Good morning and welcome to this Wellington Business Expo live stream. Today I'm joined by Catthy Sheppard from BSI People Skills. How are you this morning, Catthy?
I'm really good, thanks, Helen. It's good to be here and thank you for having me on.
No problem at all. So today Catthy will be presenting on how to turn your biggest weakness into your biggest strength, which I think will be very useful for businesses to learn how to do, considering the year we've had and the year that we're still having, actually. And certainly, a good time of year to start looking forward to next year and taking our learnings and looking at how we can come through into 2021 a whole lot stronger. So before I hand over to Catthy, please remember you can ask any questions below in the comments stream, and Catthy will answer these at the end of the live stream. So I'll hand over to Catthy.
Thanks very much. Good morning, everybody, and it's great to be here today. So I'm the founder and CEO of BSI People Skills, and I've been in business now for full-time for nearly 6 years. And this year has been incredibly challenging, as you know, as many of us know. And it's not only challenging within New Zealand, it is challenging right around the world. And that through COVID-19, through lockdowns, not only in our personal lives, but also having businesses and that sort of instant change that we've had to cope with, where, everything is fine. I remember back in March, we do training, we do a lot of face-to-face training, we have, I do speaking and all of that sort of stuff. And in March, all of a sudden, 1 week we're talking about booking the next lot of workshops with particular businesses, and all of a sudden there's just nothing. And it was a hugely challenging time for us and for so many others as well. And what we have continued to see through this year is a really uncertain future. We're hearing just this week about Ireland going into lockdown, different parts of the world continuing to very, very quickly, all businesses closed or all restaurants closed and these sorts of things. So it's created an incredibly uncertain future. And we're all people. And people crave, or really many people really need certainty, really need that that idea that they know what is going to be happening. It's very stressful when we don't know what's happening. And so this is affecting every single person in business. It's affecting the business owners. It's affecting the staff. It's affecting families. And all of that is exactly why we've had to think about new ways of doing business. So I'm Catthy, and I am absolutely and utterly focused on people. There's a whakatauki in Māori, which is te aha te mea nui o te ao, he tangata, he tangata, he tangata. What is the most important thing in the world? It is people. It is people. It is people. And it is people that drive businesses. It is people that we interact with every single day. They have the people that we interact with, the relationships that we have with other people, have the power to hurt us or to make us feel really amazing. And I saw so many people going to work on Sunday nights as they're thinking about going to work on Monday morning. They were really unhappy about that. There was issues in the workplace, and they were annoyed with their manager, or conflict, or things like that. I also saw managers who had been promoted, and they were really excited about being promoted, and then all of a sudden they realized, hang on a moment, I haven't got the skills, and they were really struggling about how to manage their people, how to manage their team. And I knew, because of the understanding that I've developed over many years, I know how to grow people. And so my why is about empowering people, leaders and teams, so that every single person that we work with can grow in confidence and can grow and make a greater positive impact in their world. So that's what I love seeing in business. I love seeing teams grow and to be able to work more effectively together. Your people are your greatest competitive advantage. And So having a team of people where you can grow and work together with everybody on the same page, where you can work together towards a common goal is like magic. It means that you can achieve so much more than each of the individuals on their own. Together, we are much more powerful. So before I start a little bit more, I just want to say that if you had told me a year ago that I would be now running an internationally focused business with products up online, I would have laughed at you. It's a little bit like if somebody had told me 10 years ago that I'd be in business, I'd have laughed at them. But these are the opportunities that come. And it's how we respond to those opportunities that gives us those opportunities and the opportunity to grow. So with all of the challenges that we've had this year, you too have opportunities. We need to be able to rethink, reflect on what we're doing, what are our strengths, and take that opportunity to stop and go back. It's like doing that SWOT analysis, isn't it? Those strengths, those weaknesses, those opportunities, and those threats. And there's a lot of threats at the moment, but there are those opportunities. If we're thinking about people, we really need to be able to think about our customers, because this whole change is changing the way that people do business. A lot of it is going online, but the way that our customers think is changing as well. Many clients, apart from seemingly at the moment in the trades, are reducing the spending that they are doing. And so they're really thinking about where they are spending their money. It's going to have a huge impact, and it's not going to just go back to normal next year. This is going to keep on going. And so we need to change the way that we are focused on our clients in order to help build that stronger relationship. Rather than, this is one of the things that I've noticed through this year, that rather than focusing on pushing our products, we need to be able to stop. And part of that reflection is actually, what are our clients' new needs? Because there are many new needs now. If I'm thinking of people and I'm thinking of the way that people were working, it was all in offices, or largely all in offices. And many of my clients would have said, oh no, we can't work from home because we all need to be together in the office. And then in March, all of a sudden, everybody is working from home, or nearly everybody. And then as the lockdown's finished and we've gone back into our offices, now there are many businesses that are having to focus on, there's only maybe one day when everybody's in the office. And with some businesses, there's actually no day that everybody is in the office. And so how do you look after that team and help build that team together so that you can continue to focus on your customers' wants and needs? We need to be able to look after the staff that we've got. And this is one of the challenges that I've seen. I was talking to a person in England, and they were talking about where they are. Everybody is still working from home in so many businesses there. And she's talking about the different staff members and how they are coping with the almost isolation and the lack of social content. And so the lack of social contact. So being aware of each of your staff members' mental states is really, really, really important here. One of the tools that I have used all the way through business is a tool that I came across in 2005. It's a tool called DISC, which is used by 70% of the Fortune 500 companies. And what it does is it helps people understand why you do what you do and why other people do what they do. And when you're building teams, when you're thinking of clients and building relationships with those clients, it is so helpful to be able to think about, who are you? What are your priorities? What's the way that you focus on the tasks and the things that you're doing? But also to be aware of your team members, because they will have different needs. They will have different motivators. They will have different stresses. And so here, if you've got somebody that's very, very task focused and is very happy to just, here's my list of things for the day, and these are the things that I need to get ticked off the list, then how other people think or how other people are feeling is generally pretty irrelevant. And so being aware of those different disc styles within your team is hugely, hugely important. What this person was struggling with in England was a person who really needed, a person in their team who really needed that people contact. And so just the odd email or the odd little thing in chat in Teams wasn't enough. They needed to be able to have that, the conversation, if you like. And so looking at how do you structure the way that you're working as a team to give every single person in the team what they need in order to be able to do their best. It's one of the things that we've had to think about in our business as well, because one of my team members lives in Brisbane, one lives up the Catthy coast. And so we have had one day where we have all been together for the day, and it was not in person. We had one person on Zoom from Brisbane. And so being aware of how your day is structured, how your week is structured, so that you are looking after the staff that you have. One of the things that we have done is that we have put in a daily meeting. We asked our staff, our team, what do you need in order to stay productive? And so having that daily check-in each day with the team members has been really, really, really important. So I've done a little bit of talking there about the team members and the different ways that they work and being aware of those different team members and their styles. It's also really important, we started talking about our customers and what they want and what they need. We need to be able to think about their different disc styles as well, and because that will affect how we communicate with them and how they read our communication. It's no longer enough to just push our products. We need to be able to think about what their wants and needs are, and then to be able to offer solutions. It's about building a relationship and building trust. And that is very different when we're doing things online as well, because it's much easier to build a relationship of trust that is face-to-face, where we can have all of our body language and so on. Being authentic is really important. One of the things that I've seen, and you have probably realized as well, is that our inboxes are getting full of emails, and it's very easy just to go down and go, no, not reading that, 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 and just deleting them. And the ones that we do open are the ones with people that we have got relationships with. And this is a big change that we're making, that is happening globally around the world at the moment in business, is being able to build that relationship. Why should people come to you? Not just because you're selling them products, not just because you're pushing them products, but because you're offering them value, you're offering them solutions to the problems that they are having. And here's some information, here's some more information, here's some more information. And all of that time you're building that trust. Another thing that is needing to happen as well is the opportunity to be able to work with other people. So to being able to partner with other people to be able to build businesses, because then we're leveraging each other's trust. So it's about thinking about who can I support. It's not what we can get, but what we can give to others that is really important with this as well. And again, we're coming back to building those relationships. So who are the people that are also working in the same space as you? Who are the people that you can leverage off? And you can do this in basically any industry. And it's about how can you support them and how can they support you, and then nurturing that relationship. I was talking to a landscape gardener earlier this year, and probably about 3 months ago. And that landscape gardener was talking about the changes that had happened with her business and the difficulty there. And so we were talking about who could she partner with, who has the same values, the same purpose as her. And one of the things that she was really focused on was having the place, having the garden, the landscape looking beautiful for the client. And we were talking about different building companies and who were the building companies that she knew. And there was one particular building company that also had the same purpose, if you like, to leave the site in a way that delighted the client. And so there you have a synergy, because she knows people that need builders. And this builder wants to be able to leave the property, if you like, looking even better for the client. And so here you have a match, here you have a synergy. And so if you can talk about how you can support each other to grow your businesses, it will make a huge difference. So what have we been doing? One of the things that we have done is to absolutely stop and to go back and to think about why. Why are we in business? And everything that we are doing is about empowering people, leaders, and teams. So I've been talking about what we're needing to think about with our team members, what we're needing to think about with our clients, what we're needing to be able to think about with partners and developing those relationships. We've got information to be able to help people grow in those different areas. But in March, we were a face-to-face business. So people are still needing that information. Their needs are different because prior to March, people were working largely face-to-face. But now it's much more complex. You're balancing people working at home, people working in the office. You're balancing technology and all of those sorts of things. But people still need to have that same understanding. So our existing products didn't work. So what we have done over the last few months is to create an online empowerment space. So in this space, we are listening to the needs of our clients, and we are creating programs where people can access those programs online with the added possibility of, or the added advantage of being able to have that shorter one-on-one contact with us, where we can personalize it even more to the people that are doing those courses. We're thinking of the needs that there are. So one of the needs that businesses have is around strengthening those customer relationships. And so we have put together a course where it's totally focused on what are your customers, what are their needs, what are their wants, what are their communication styles, and how can we strengthen those customer relationships? Because it's really, really important that we look after the customers that we already have, as well as being able to find these new customers, these new opportunities. The next program that we then wrote was around how do we strengthen how do we strengthen our team? And so being especially in the different ways of working that we have. So what are the different things that we need to be aware of within teams? And again, creating a program around that with the opportunity to be able to have that individualized contact afterwards, to be able to explore putting that into your own business. This is one of the things that we have noticed with many of the online courses that there are, is that it is just more information being put at people. And I was talking to somebody recently and they just said, I've had enough information. What I need to know is how I can use this. And that's why we've called it an online empowerment space, because what we're wanting is for people to be able to actually use this in their business, not just to be able to take more information and try and stuff more information into our heads, but to actually go, okay, so there is this. How is this relevant to me? How is this relevant to my business, to my customers, to my team, to my people? And so that's what we've been doing. What we then realized after doing those two was that we needed a program that had more depth, that helped people understand other people even more than that. And so we've created our next big program, which is called Dynamic Communication. Because when you're thinking about communication with your team members, it is dynamic. Things change. People are people. They are the most complex part of your business. You know, you can get your systems to do things. You just sort this out, sort that computer out. But people are so complex. And the thing that makes them complex is all of the depth of us, our emotions, our motivators, our stresses, and the way that those affect our brains. And what we wanted was to be able to give people the opportunity to understand that with even more depth. And so we've created this program called Dynamic Communication 101. And again, it's got that introductory time where we can talk with you about what your needs are, and then be able to guide you as to what to focus on through the course, but also then at the end of it to be able to access us for an extra session where you can go through and actually go, okay, what's the next steps? What else can I do with this information, with the reflection and the learning that I've done through this? And with all of this, we're wanting to be able to create a community online where everybody is embracing that collaboration and that working together, because this stuff is not just used by the world's leading CEOs and companies to take their businesses into the next level. It's about, okay, how do you work with other people to be able to also do that, and to be able to grow together, to get that inspiration from each other, those nuggets from each other, because you have a huge amount of information, a huge amount of experience within yourself that you've learned from your times, and you can share that with other people and also watch them grow. And that's one of the beautiful things about working in partnership. So we're creating this online empowerment space community, which we've called, at the moment, it's called the BSI People Skills Daily. And through that, we are dropping in little videos every single day, every single weekday, where we are picking up things that are hugely topical for where people are at that moment. And we'd love people to be able to continue to share through that particular space, and to maybe even put in what are the things that are your biggest issues at the moment, so that we can respond or other people can respond. And it's about that new wave of business, embracing collaboration and that working together there. Now, I talked a little bit about DISC. And here you've got the 4 different styles, which really help people understand whether they are wanting things done really fast and just focused on results, or whether they're focused on fun, or whether they're focused on making sure that relationships are right, and that everybody's working together and that there's harmony in the team, or whether they're focused on those systems and processes. And having that understanding is hugely important. I mentioned before that 70% of the world's leading Fortune 500 companies are using it. And that is why we've used the foundations of DISC to develop every single one of our online courses. We have some amazing deals available through the Business Expo, and we have our normal $99 courses are going for only $29, and then we have our dynamic communication course at $120 off, and we can put in the links below the links for that space. Yeah, we'd love people to be able to go and see what there is around and to be able to take advantage of those Business Expo deals that we have right at the moment. So we'll put those links in the chat at the end on the Facebook there. So that's what we've been up to this year. It has been the most amazing year, taking my team on this journey of change from a face-to-face business focused on basically Wellington to an online business that is now focused on people right around the world. I've done sessions into India, I've done sessions into England, and it just gives us so many more opportunities. So I'd love to hear if there are any questions from anyone there. And yeah.
Great. Thank you, Catthy. I'm just not sure if there's any questions come through, but I've got a couple for you, actually. You talked about, you called it the BSI People Skills Daily. Is there any particular type of business or that is using it most at the moment? Is it small and medium-sized businesses? Is it particular industries? Or
yeah, that's one of the interesting things. People often try and put me in a box and say, well, you know, what sort of industry do you work with? Actually, I've worked with people from 0 to 80. And in terms of the different industries that people are from, I've worked with tradies, I've worked with professionals, I've worked with teachers, so there are people from lots of different groups that are starting to join that space. And it will be growing as we go through. That is the aim, to be able to grow that community. Obviously, we can't do everything all at once, you know. That's the thing, is there's been so many opportunities this year, and it's really about focusing your attention and creating that certainty out of the uncertainty and saying, right, this is what we're doing. So we have financial planners, we have I've got business coaches in there at the moment. I've got a leadership coach in there too, a couple of leadership coaches in there as well at the moment, accountants. So, yeah, there are people there from a range of industries already.
Right, and it's great. And they are a range of size as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
excellent.
Absolutely.
Cool. Okay.
Because people are people. That's the thing, is that people are people, and we have the same issues with people, no matter what size the industry that we're in. Even if we're a sole trader, we have issues with people. We have issues with ourselves, actually.
Yeah, I know. We're all people, aren't we?
It is about how do you manage yourself and how do you deal with that mindset? Because mindset has been one of the hugest things this year. And so many of the posts have actually been around that awareness of mindset, your own mindset, and what might be happening to the mindset of the people in your team, what might be happening to the mindset of your customers.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the mindsets that comes through quite a lot right now is a little bit of overwhelm and a bit of well, certainly fatigue. It's been a big year, and there's been so much learning, and that's exhausting.
And so being able to be kind to yourself. We've done quite a few little videos around being kind to yourself for exactly that reason. That's exactly the issues that we're seeing and how we're using that space. So you're seeing an issue, tiredness, actually be kind to yourself. Don't beat yourself up, and look after yourself. It's okay to have an afternoon off. In fact, it's a heck of a lot better to have an afternoon off than to continue to try and focus, because how productive are you actually being? Whereas if you give yourself that break, you can come back and you can be refreshed.
Yeah.
So
we
thanks, Helen.
Yeah, we had a comment on that yesterday on our business safari, actually. The people who came on the business safari to Wellington, 3 fabulous Wellington businesses yesterday afternoon. It felt like an afternoon off, and we're all away from our screens and we're all away from our inboxes. And there was it was really noticeable that on the bus, everyone was laughing and joking. They didn't know each other. Every site we went to was very welcoming. And you can feel how valuable now, or realise how valuable now it is to get together face to face. And so many people on the bus were saying, wow, I just feel so much better. It's probably the best wellness thing they'd done for quite a while. So, yeah, there's quite a lot of pressure being in front of your computer constantly.
Absolutely. And so how do you create that within your team when you have got people on Zoom? How do you create that sense of fun, that lightness, which is so important to keeping the team going, if you like, because it can get so heavy when it's just through the screen.
Yeah, absolutely. And it becomes very sedentary as well, doesn't it?
Yes. Yeah. And so being aware of that and actually doing something about it is important. So you see, I'm instantly coming back into that self-care, because it is what is so important for leadership, is leading oneself, leading one's team. And if we're not looking after ourselves, how can we look after anybody else?
Yeah, great. Excellent. Well, it's lovely to hear an example of how you've changed your business. I mean, you know, last year you were in at the chamber a lot, running workshops and those sorts of things. And, you know, and now to have changed it completely to an online model where you can have much larger reach and have a more long-lasting sort of engagement with those people rather than just a seminar. So that's excellent. Thanks very much for sharing your story. I've found that really interesting, and I'm sure that there'll be many people who you've given them a moment to pause and think and think about how they can do take this on board for 2021, really.
Because things are not going to go back to how they were. We do need to go, actually, what can we do differently?
Yeah, excellent. So thanks, Catthy. Really appreciate that. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in today. And if you haven't registered for our big business bash, which is tomorrow night, Thursday, the 22nd of October, then please head over to the Wellington Business Expo website. That's wellingtonbusinessexpo.nz. That is our last physical event for our Wellington Business Expo this year. I think we've had, 8 in-person events, and they've all been really different and very well received. So tomorrow night is the wind-up of our Business Expo. I really encourage you to come along to the Lower Hutt Event Centre, and it's just going to be a relaxing evening to say, well, actually to reflect some of the things we've talked about today and reflect on the year we've had. And it's not going to be very formal. It's just going to be a very fun, relaxed opportunity for us all to get together, see each other face to face and make some more connections, meet some new people. Maybe you can form some new collaborations, or maybe you can just have some time to relax over some really lovely canapes and drinks, and just enjoy being together in a space while we can. We don't know what's ahead of us, but we do know that whatever it is, we have to do it together. So I encourage you to come along to that. It is actually free for chamber members because we haven't been able to do so many in-person free events this year. So if you're a chamber member, please do come along to that. And if you're not a chamber member, then you could join today and come along tomorrow for free. Or, of course, you're welcome as well. So, and the event is being sponsored by the Lower Hutt Event Centre and Riverlink as well. Also, take a look, if you haven't already, at the Expo website. There are over 70 stands, all local businesses saying, I'm open, I'm looking for new people to collaborate with, I'm looking for new customers, I'm wanting to grow. It's all about support local, being a community together and helping people make connections. And we know from anecdotal evidence this week that certainly people are doing that on that website. So go to wellingtonbusinessexpo.nz and take a look at all the stands that are on there. Prizes, there's numerous prizes and competitions, and they'll close off tomorrow as well, and lots of special offers. So thank you again, Catthy, for this morning. Thank you for your
Thanks.
Great, and thank you for your support as well. And I hope you all have a great day.
Thank you.